Okay, so I talked about it on this solo episode, right? I talked about how I have like this stomach condition, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I went to go record you guys last time, we talked about briefly, but like off air, we
Yeah.
started talking about like stomach issues and everything. And you're like, oh, I have like this stomach issues. I have a sensitive stomach, and I was like, bro, shit, me too. You're like, what do you mean? And you said you have this thing called UC, and I was
Yeah.
like, ulcerative colitis.
Yes.
You're like,
Ulcerative
what?
colitis. Oh, UC for all those people who don't know, it's
Yeah.
not fun.
So I was like, oh wow, like I have that too. And it was pretty cool because I mean it's not cool to have, trust me. But it's so random that like I don't come across a lot of people who have it.
Bro, I've never came across a person who has so much similarities,
Yeah.
and we like know each other in so many indirect ways.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts. I think about it, like how many friends we have tied together.
Yeah.
Some of the same like conditions we share.
Yeah.
Same like ambitions.
So we
Respect
both
on,
have this
respect on
condition
my name.
called ulcerative colitis, and what it is, it's an inflammatory disease on your colon, well, your bowels, what they call it, but it's an anti. Oh no, not anti. It's an inflammatory autoimmune disorder
Yep.
for your colon, and what happens is you have your small intestines, your large intestines, and then your whole colon. There's certain sections in our colons that get to internally bleeding, like the walls of the colon start to internally bleed
Pretty
due
crazy.
to high inflammation.
Yep.
And the reason why that's important to take care of and everything is because once that gets to a point where your colon is so inflamed that they have to do this process in which they remove sections of your colon, which could lead to diverticulitis, which a lot of times they literally, my little cousin Nana, she just had that too, where they cut into her on the side, they pull out the colon, cut out the bad section and put it back in.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Worse, and then
Brock Lesnar had that done
yeah,
too.
bad things can happen to where you get your colon take out. But another bad thing could happen is where what happens is they actually have to remove it in its entirety, and for the rest of the life, you have a bag that essentially is going to get your bowels and everything because you don't have the colon to like actually process everything. And then worst case scenario is it's fatal, which in a lot of instances, so they say colon cancer is the second most leading death cancer ever. So number one, cancer is,
What a
I
track
forget the one,
record.
yeah. But number two is colon cancer. One of the most recent famous people who had that happen to was Chadwick Boseman.
So, oh wow.
He had colon cancer. That's what he passed away from.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I did hear that. Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, it could have been a different cup. It could have been Crohn's, diverticulitis,
Yeah.
ulcerative colitis,
And
but they're all within the same.
UC can develop into Crohn's too,
Yeah,
and a
and
whole
vice
bunch.
versa,
Yeah.
or mild form, and that's what's tough because people can get the differences in that, whether it be the large intestines and the small intestines. But so
It's every
I'll
day.
tell you my how I knew I got it, which we did talk about a little bit. I'll tell you how I knew I got it, and then dealing with it now and everything. So for me, it was like I was like 22, I want to say 22 years old, right? And I started noticing that like my stomach was like feeling a little weird. You know what I mean? Nothing crazy. It was feeling a little weird. But then I would go to the bathroom, dog.
Whew.
Right? I would go to the bathroom and I would sit on the toilet and it was just blood would just come out of my ass.
No,
Blood would come out of my
please
ass.
don't.
You know? And I'm like, whoa, I don't do no funny shit with my butt. You know what I mean? What is going on?
That
And it was-
moment that
it
you
was
saw
bleeding,
blood,
bro.
the moment you saw blood,
I thought I had too many hot Cheetos. That's the first thing I thought.
did you try to like justify it? You're like, oh no, this isn't blood. This is hot
dude, I
Cheeto
was just
stains.
like, you know what? I did drink a 40 with the hot Cheetos. That's probably what it is. Cool, you know what I mean? I'll get it out. It was like literally a minimal once a day
Holy
for like 30 days.
shoot.
But I was just kind of thinking like maybe it's because I had a lot going on at that time too. I was
Stress?
like, maybe it's just a stress. Fucking, I definitely wasn't eating the best with the healthiest at that time. I was so fucking broke. I thought I developed it because I would a lot of times if you gave me the option to like, all right, you can eat, or maybe I could drink this 32 ounce and it would fill me up, and at the same time maybe give me a little buzz. I would drink more than eat. I had, bro. So I went to go get. So I was like, all right, I gotta go get this checked out. I had to fucking do a sigmoscopy first. You know what a sigmoscopy is?
What's a sigmoscopy?
So a sigmoscopy is they essentially like put like a little thing in you, like 12 inches.
Is that an endoscopy? The
No,
same
it
thing?
was a well. So the sigmoscopy is because they only go in so far because after that then it becomes a colonoscopy,
Oh,
which I
okay.
got afterwards. So I got the sigmoscopy first, bro. I had to fucking do blood work. I had to do a urine sample.
Same.
I had to do
Preach.
they did an ultrasound
Let me hear
on
it.
like my yeah, like everything, my
Yeah, whole stuff.
kidneys,
Yep.
everything. I had to do a stool sample, which is fucking
That's
gross.
weird because you have to send it in
Yes.
and keep it
You have to
cold.
collect it though, dude.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
Yeah.
what am I doing? I had to bro, it's just fucking nasty. It's awkward, it's weird. No one wins in this situation, but you have to put it in the
Think
liquid
about
thing.
having to get your shit into a little vial. Just think about how you would do it.
You know what it is? You ever been to Baskin and Robbins and you want to like try a flavor and they give you the little fork?
Oh yeah, they
That's
give you that little
exactly what it
spuma. They
was
like,
for your shit. So take care of your bodies unless you want to
yeah.
deal with that. So I had to submit all that, right? I did the sigmoscopy because they were like, oh, it's probably a hemorrhoid. I'm like, this isn't a hemorrhoid, dog. Not 30 days straight of bleeding. You know what I mean? They're like, yeah, but maybe it's just bleeding here. Did the sigmoscopy, and they were like, oh no, we have to schedule you in for colonoscopy. Here, have you ever got one yet? I've gone 3. 4?
Got 4.
I've gone 3. Well, technically, yeah, 3, and then
I've
one
gotten 2 and
sigmoscopy.
2. Yeah.
So I
4.
got 3. You know how what the prep is like and everything.
Oh,
It's the
bro, I
worst.
joke around with these guys
It's the
now.
fucking worst. You know what they wanted me to do? Bro, they wanted me to be, they said, for the rest of my life, I'm going to have this. And they said, I'm going to have to take an oral and suppository medication. So suppository means you put this fucking thing in your butt.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted me to do that shit and take a pill for the rest of my
Mm-hmm.
life. Mind you, it's not free. I got to cover this.
Yeah. I think it's a
And
kind
they
of.
want me to fucking do this shit for the rest of my life. And I was like, no, thank you. Let me look up some other shit. So I started doing my own research, like we talked about. And I found out what worked for me. And ever since then, I mean, I've had a flare up, I think, once in the last 3.5 years, maybe once.
That's
But other than
good.
that, I've been in remission like a lot of times, just taking care of myself, learning more about intermittent fasting, 24-hour fasting, 48-hour water fasts, learning how to eliminate certain foods that might like
Trigger.
irritate and trigger
Yeah.
it. And even then, it's not even so much of what you can eat. It's just how much you can indulge of it. That's the bigger issue. You know, they're not
Yeah.
saying you can still have a slice of pizza. You could still go ham on fucking wings, but then also but don't do it back to back to back, or
Don't do it
mix
for
too
a
much.
week straight.
Yeah.
That's like that calls for a fucking.
Yeah, and if you're gonna eat wings and have beer on a Friday night, that's fine and all. Saturday night, don't do that again.
Exactly.
Sunday, don't do that again. You like it's
Yeah.
just all about
It's pretty common.
moderation.
It's pretty
And dairy is a big thing too. Kicking back dairy a lot.
yeah. For you.
So I don't.
No, yeah, it gives me the oh man.
Well, it's
in
it's
the
also
mornings,
that's
yeah.
what irritates it too. So like I don't fuck with like the only milk I'll fuck with at all is almond milk, and
Yeah.
even then I only use almond milk. Sometimes I'll put it in my coffee, but not all the time.
You can have a pretty normal
Lifestyle,
lifestyle.
Yeah.
You just have to really. It's all in moderation.
moderation,
All the moderation.
fasting, pre and probiotics, total gut health,
Yep.
kombuchas.
Yep.
I was doing the
Ginger
Phillips,
shots.
yeah, ginger and turmeric shots. I
Yeah.
was doing. I would buy. I haven't had it in the last like 3 months, but I would take the Phillips colon health, take that with whatever food I was eating. Minimal, like I said, the kombucha minimal once a week, sometimes two. Ginger and turmeric shots.
You
Those
should
are really good.
check out the juicing. That really
I've
helps
done the
me out.
juices too.
Especially what yeah. So you know then
Yeah.
that's what it kind of forced me. I got it too when I was 22.
Mm-hmm.
I was real young. I might have experienced actual stomach pains like when I was 19.
Mm.
And it kind of developed. Nobody knew what it was. But it forced me to do my own research, on what foods are good and what triggers it and what's healthy, what's not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of really how to take care of yourself, and it showed me what going to the doctors and doing it their way would do.
Mm-hmm.
I had to take pills. I had to do the suppository shit.
Mm-hmm.
Pills gave me badass side effects. My head was just pounding to the point where it put me in fucking tears, bro. Like
Oh,
it was
wow.
just like head, like I couldn't move my head. I couldn't do shit. Couldn't breathe without like
Damn.
crazy.
Yeah.
So do your own research. If you do have it, or if you're living with any kind of autoimmune disease, do some research. It's not,
Yeah,
that it's
for
not.
sure.
That's not going to be your life forever. If
Yeah.
you allow it to, and you're indulging and overindulging, then you're just asking for the worst.
It's the big fucking thing of it is really just your diet.
Yep.
Like learning, like really understanding what you're putting in your body and everything. And I'm not saying you have to be a fucking
Health freak.
health guru. I'm not saying you have to
Yeah.
be a nutritionist and everything. But just literally knowing the difference, like I've even tried to implement that as much as I can here at my house. I try to implement that with my family. Like I give them advice a lot of the times, but like you know what, like this is certain stuff because we're Mexican that
I was-
we, you know what I mean, our
you that
fam
you that you eat off top. I was gonna
so
ask you,
much
how much do you see it amongst
every
people
day,
in your life,
every day.
and them just like you're like, oh my god, like
Yeah,
yo, like
but they're
you
also they're not educated in it. They don't know. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's just
until it happens,
until
and
it happens.
it's becoming more frequent.
Hmm.
It's like people are. It's among more people, and it's because of what we eat and how we eat in the American diet, bro.
And that's why diabetes runs a lot in our family. Like my family on both sides.
Same,
You know what I
same.
mean? And it's
Well,
just like there's
yeah,
certain things that's like if you guys can just eliminate this, and if you guys can just eliminate this, or just only have this in moderation, like you don't have to get this way. But to their defense, and this is why I go back and forth with my mom a lot of times, it's like it's easy to say that when they don't have the resources.
exactly.
And I was like, I get it, dude. I get it.
On the flip side of it, you can actually eat healthy, and it be really inexpensive.
Yeah, for sure.
You stay on the outside of the grocery stores where the veggies are all at, or the meats
Hmm.
and you know all the good stuff. You can literally get meals for the week
Pretty
for
fucking cheap.
pretty cheap, and a lot of what you're gonna be eating is vegetables anyway. If you do
Yeah.
get it, you have to calm yourself down. Actually,
Yeah.
for me, it was oatmeal, and then I got onto eggs because I knew like oatmeal settle the stomach,
Hmm.
and then eggs. I needed some protein. That's all I
Yeah.
thought about, and that's the only thing I would be able to eat for weeks when I had bouts.
Yeah, if you are right. Like even just it's just doing like what they call quote unquote low carb. Like if you go get like for example, if you go to Chipotle, I go to Chipotle. You don't have to get the quesadilla.
Chipatos?
You don't have to get the tacos. You don't have to get the burritos. You could just get the bowl.
I don't ever get any of that anyway.
You could just get the bowl.
I've
Or-
never gotten anything
you
other
can
than
get
the
it.
bowl.
You can
It's
get
crazy.
You can get
It's a
stuff
mind fucking
lettuce
blown.
wrapped. Like when
Yeah.
you get a hamburger, I know it's you know not it's a not unpopular opinion. Like say like sometimes if I grill up some burgers, I get turkey meat,
Oh,
turkey
same.
burgers,
Yeah.
and then we'll lettuce wrap them instead of getting bread.
Pro tip for everybody who does love fast food: when you do go, do the same thing, right?
Mhm.
If you don't want to make them at home and you're on the run and you're at work, I got 3 patties today to throw over my white rice.
Yeah. Oh, actually, do you know where you got it from? But before you answer, let me give you some context. So when everything was going on with me, the doctors were just like, well, they're like, well, where did you get it from? A lot of this stuff is hereditary, meaning like it runs in your family. They're like, who else in your family has this? I go, no one. I don't know anybody in my family that has this. Well, he has diabetes. He has like these issues, whatever. I was like, but nothing that's specifically stomach, related. And they're like, well, it could be in your genes already from like prior generations, this and that. And I'm like, well, fuck, I don't know. I don't have the answers. And I was telling my mom for like, I was like, they're saying like, where'd I get this from? She's like, I don't know. I was like, I don't fucking know. What I mean? If you don't know, what makes you think I'm gonna know? And I didn't know. And I was talking to my dad about it too. He's like, hey, I don't know. And then I talked to him about it again when I the second time I got it, and I'm like, man, I'm getting a flare up again. And my dad was like, you know what? He's like, now that you mentioned it, when you're talking about flare ups and stuff like that, he goes, I actually. He's like, I had the same thing going on when I was your age, when at that time of your age. I go, really? He goes, yeah. He's like, you know what I did though? He's like, I regret. He goes, I just never brought it up. I never went to a doctor. He goes, I never brought it up to your mom. He goes, I never brought it to anybody. I just kept it to myself. And he's like, eventually it went away. And he's like, you know what I was eating a lot of the times? Hot Cheetos. And eventually it just went away. He's like, but I just didn't talk about it at all. And I go, well, there it is. But it was interesting because he told me the same thing. He goes, yeah, I had that shit too. But actually, he can't. He's assuming he had to. He just never got it checked, so he never exactly was diagnosed with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, no, I get that
So
completely.
how did you track it back and try to find it?
I didn't. I asked in the family, nobody had it, man. I don't know if I'm making this memory up. I might have talked to my grandparents about it, and they might have said someone in the family had it, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody had it, bro. No, like I said, I was partying hard. I was eating whatever the fuck I wanted to.
Yeah.
I was working out all the time, so I was staying nice and fit.
Mm-hmm.
But I would notice someone. I'd notice them the day after drinking, and I didn't really
Yeah.
put 2 and 2 together because I was like 19 or 20,
Right.
and I was like, oh, whatever, And then I started drinking again, and it would hurt, and I'd be like, I'd drink more, and do
Yeah.
and this, that, and the other, and then
it feels good to get a buzz.
and
you know what I mean?
it'd go away.
Yeah.
The hurt would go away. Like, oh, this is great. My stomach doesn't even hurt. And then the next
Yeah.
morning, I'd be like, oh, fuck, And it was just a lot of that. And
Yeah.
then when I moved to Sacramento, I was taking a shit one day,
Mm-hmm.
and I go to wipe, and it was just a little wetter.
It takes a lot to talk about it and to say it. Like I'm obviously more, well, we would say more comfortable about it and
Oh
everything.
yeah, I'll
But
tell you a story right now. Don't worry.
I do think it's cool to bring up and talk about because there might be a lot of people that are also going through this too that could be listening to it and be like, oh fuck, I had that same shit too, or they don't speak about it, you know?
It's horrible. I understand. Like I've been on the freeway having to pull over and take a shit.
Yeah,
Like when you have
it's
to
bad.
go, you have to go. It sounds funny and hilarious, but like it's a constant feeling when those flare ups happen. It's like,
Hmm.
dude, you can have water and you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
like I get these
yeah.
weird, like if my stomach would just make these weird vibrating noises.
Oh, then mine still make them.
Yeah, and
Not like hella crazy,
it would
but
just
like
make these weird noises, and then I just feel like knotness, like knots. And
yeah,
I'm just like,
tight.
oh, fuck yeah, like, and you just have to go like 5 times a day, 6 times a day, and it's like a lot of times. Sometimes you just sit there, sometimes quick, but it's
It's
like,
just like,
yeah, it's like
and
six
then
times a
nothing
day.
happens.